We are checking out all the rock shop. Yep, that's Messi.
I love Messi.
You love Messi?
Messi's better than Ronaldo.
Oh, Lopez, Shakira, Tony Iommi.
Ronaldo is just a name.
Okay, just they're checking out the Hard Rock. I really did like this place. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so we are sadly leaving Universal, the Hard Rock Hotel, and we were headed home to reality.
Boo.
Boo.
But it's been a great week.
Yeah, so we're gonna do some reflection on the Disney trip and on the Universal portion, especially the Universal portion, since we've
Never done that before.
So let's do that.
Turn left.
All right, so first, Disney. I loved our room at Bay Lake Tower.
Oh, yeah.
0.1 miles.
The
Turn right.
1-bedroom villa is so much better than the studio that we had back in 2020.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
It was plenty of space for us. Josie basically had her own bed with the couch, and
Turn right.
we loved the big king size bed that we were in, and the jet tub. Oh, yeah.
The jet tub was money
Oh.
at night after a long day in the park.
Yeah, it helped our feet so much.
Feet, knees, hips, legs, period.
Yes. You can tell a marked difference. Oh, there's a little sign. Well, kind of, sort of.
Leaving, yeah.
Yeah, the Universal Orlando Resort. You could tell a marked difference in the cast member experience from when we were there in 2020.
Yes.
And even from when we were there in 2022 with Dance the Magic.
It's improved.
It has improved dramatically.
Thank you, Bob Iger.
Yes, thank you, Bob Iger. It's a way closer to what we are used to with Disney, with the cast member experience, and just and the comfortability of being a guest, I guess you could say.
And I noticed, in general, the parks were cleaner than they were during the dark ages of Bob Chapek.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. We had a lot of firsts on that trip with Disney. Josie rode, Gooch and Josie rode Tron for the first time. Josie finally got to ride Tower of Terror for the first time.
And she loved it.
All right, Josie, what did you think? Give us some of your thoughts about the Disney portion of the trip.
In 0.1 miles. Continue straight.
You're going to have to speak up, baby. You're going to have to speak up.
I got to ride Big Thunder Mountain more than once.
Continue straight.
And Mount Everest more than once. That's all I have to say.
In half a mile.
That's all you have to say?
Exit right.
You got to ride Tron 3 times, Guardians twice.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, she had cast members loving her dance so much, they just took her to the front of the line of Guardians. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
In 0.1 miles.
What?
Exit
Volcano Bay
right.
right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is Volcano Bay over that way. And I think that's called the Fun Spot over there,
Yes,
if
I
I'm not
think it is.
mistaken. If you've seen Dance Moms,
Exit right.
they went to the Fun Spot one time. Well, Brooke and that boy dancer went there one time. That little tidbit there. But overall for Disney, love seeing the magic come back. The cast members seem happier.
They definitely added to the magic more than they had been.
Absolutely. And it was a wonderful, the Disney experience was absolutely wonderful.
I was very pleased. I was happy.
Yes, agreed. All right, Universal. So like I said, this was our first time really experiencing Universal as a family. It was my first time since 2001. And it's funny because I only went to Islands of Adventure on the one trip that I went. And I did recognize a lot of stuff like that, like when you first enter that area that kind of looks like Adventureland.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that part, and of course I remember the Marvel area with the Hulk and Spider-Man and the Who and the Who stuff, the Dr. Seuss stuff. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So let's go with the first day. The first day, okay, well, first of all, Hard Rock. I would most definitely stay there again.
Yeah, the staff there were amazing. The room was really nice.
They do have pictures of Taylor Swift, yes.
But the room, I can't get over the staff. I mean, everyone was so nice and accommodating, and it was a true first class full service hotel experience. It was nice.
Yes, I completely agree. I really I really enjoyed our room. I definitely prefer a king bed, but the two queens were not bad. Josie got her own like actual bed, so she was
like
happy
they were
with
on
that.
The smaller size of queen
they were
bed.
most definitely on the smaller size. Honestly, they were a little bit more of a.
They were like in between double and queen.
Yes, agreed. But they were comfortable.
They were comfortable,
which I definitely appreciate. I love the decor in our room. I don't even think I got this on video, but like right by the bathroom, they have like painted drumsticks, like kind of like glued together. I thought that was really cool. Yeah,
it was
right there.
Wall by the sink.
I like the fact that there were two sinks. There was one
in the washer in the actual
bathroom.
There was a vanity, and then there was one with the actual toilet.
Yeah. Now the space with the toilet and the bathtub, very small.
Yes.
But
it was hard to open and close the door when you were in there.
Agree. Yeah. Like you really couldn't. You really couldn't.
You almost had to sit on the toilet and like open your legs to be able to get the door shut.
Or swing over to the side. And why would do? So that. I don't necessarily want to ding it for that, but no. Still it was, but still it just be warned, it's small. But I would definitely stay there again. In fact, I found the location convenient to get to the parks, because you could take that boat, or it's like a 10-minute walk.
About a 10-minute walk.
To the parks. So Hard Rock definitely gets a big thumbs up from us. All right, Josie, what were you gonna say?
And I love that that different floors have different like rock people.
Yes, it had different memorabilia and art on the different floors. You saw on our floor, I was fawning over the Tom Jones memorabilia.
But there was one that we stopped on where someone else got off. It had Michael Jackson.
And one of them had Elvis Presley.
One of them had Elvis. I think that was the third floor has Elvis.
That was the floor with the lobby, yes.
Yeah, so, and that's another thing. So it's 6 floors. However, the third floor is the lobby. So they have underneath, they have like the second floor that's got rooms, and then the first floor is where you go down to their little
there's a restaurant.
Little restaurant.
There's a quick service.
There's also
and then you get down. That's where the pool, and that's where you go down. Also to the walkway.
There's also rooms.
There are rooms down there as well. But the walkway to get to the parks is into the boat is there too. So I love the decor in the lobby with the rock memorabilia. I think I did get some of that. But I mean, when you walk into a place and they're playing Queen and the Doors, I'm gonna love it. So
yeah.
I definitely give big thumbs up.
Yeah.
To the Hard Rock.
We like the Hard Rock, and the other thing with staying at one of the deluxe at Universal, and this might be jumping ahead a little bit, is you get the express pass for Universal, which I actually feel like, and we'll get into this, I feel like it's superior to Genie Plus.
I absolutely agree.
That's the one thing that Universal really has over Disney right now is the express pass. It's unlimited. And there's only one ride in both parks that does not accept Express Pass, and that's the Hagrid ride.
Right, exactly.
All the other rides have Express Pass, and it's unlimited. So
and we were able to pretty much do everything.
We did everything we wanted to do, yeah.
And it only took about most
That was
Yeah.
probably the longest express pass line we waited in. That was
Yeah.
probably Velocicoaster.
That was the Velocicoaster, yeah. But so our first day, it didn't start off very well in the park. We went to Studios, and it was we weren't able to get in there in time for like the early entry. I don't even think they had early entry in that park that day. I was not a fan of how the Studios anyway did their line queue.
It was very bottlenecked.
It was very bottlenecked, and you have to take your picture for like a facial recognition thing,
Yeah.
which is fine, but it took extra time, and that bottleneck was just
Because they scan your ticket and take your picture.
and take your picture. Yes.
And we have to do that 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, we did it twice.
Yeah.
That's true, dude.
I will chalk up some of our frustration with the first part of the day at Universal to disorientation and not being familiar with the park.
Yes.
Trying to figure out, okay, where do we go for what, that sort of thing, and trying to learn how to navigate. So that was part of that frustration as well.
Yes, and plus the very first thing we did was we went to Hogsmeade and went to Ollivanders. Well, not Hogsmeade.
No, it's a Diagon Alley.
We went to Diagon Alley to get her wand.
Which was absolutely insane crazy.
Oh my God!
They need more space in that store.
Well, I mean, they're going for more closer to what it was in the movies and in the books, which I get.
I get it with all those people trying to get in there.
But they need to control the flow better, because you had people trying to get out of the indoor and
in through the outdoor.
in through the outdoor, and it's
trying to get in line to pay and trying to get to a wand, and all of it was like crisscrossed.
right. So I wasn't a fan. And I know it was very frustrating for Josie trying to find her specific wand, but
It was even claustrophobic for me, and I don't get claustrophobic.
Same. I don't get claustrophobic at all.
well,
So I know you were feeling
So
it,
you
sure.
can imagine how I was feeling. Because I am claustrophobic, and it was crazy. So, but yeah, Josie got her wand, and we went on a few rides. I made the mistake of going on that ride with the Minions.
Well, the first thing that Josie and I did was we did Gringotts.
They did Gringotts.
It was fun.
When I heard that there was a lot of swinging around, I knew that it wasn't going to be a place that I should go, because
It was a coaster, kind of hybrid coaster simulator thing.
yeah.
And it was fun. I mean, I was able to fit on that one. I had to finagle it. And I'm a bigger guy, and I'll get into this more later, but I'm a bigger guy, so it was hard for me to squeeze into some of these rides at Universal, which Disney does not. I don't have that issue at Disney.
Right.
They
Exactly.
do all sizes and shapes.
Yes, agreed. Absolutely agree with that. I think Tron's the closest one. Tron and
Flight of
the
Passage.
Flight of Passage is probably the closest one.
Yeah,
But
I figured those out.
but you've been able to get on those.
Yeah, and I will say this. So I don't know if y'all know this, but like when Dad's able to write something, I'm never nervous. But when Dad's not able to write something, I really.
We'll get into that.
We'll
in a
get
minute.
into that in a we'll get into that in a moment, because
yeah.
but I am not just claustrophobic, but I have developed, unfortunately, a very sensitive thing for motion sickness when it comes to rides. It started out only on the darker coasters like Space Mountain,
Makes sense.
but now the motion simulators really have started getting my, making me sick, and this is even true at Disney. I mean, Star Tours makes me sick. I got so sick on Guardians the other night. But so we did the Minions ride.
It was fun.
It was very fun,
It was
but
cute, yeah.
oh my God, I was sick the rest of the day.
And that's one of the more tame ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And I will say this, the simulators at Universal are way more intense
Oh shit.
Yeah, they are.
than Disney.
The
Way more.
The rides in general are more intense.
I completely
Especially
agree.
Hulk and Velocicoaster.
Well-
Oh my
Well,
god.
we'll get there. So we did a few other things, but we decided to go back to the room to have
lunch.
have lunch. Gooch went out and got us some McDonald's. So I the longer I sat there, the sicker I got. And I even while we were I was waiting on him to go get our food. I fell asleep and I woke up when he got back and I felt awful. So I actually stayed in the room while they went back into the parks for the last 3 hours that they were open. So I'm going to let them kind of talk about some of the things they did and some of the things they experienced.
So what I'll say is the second venture into the park was better than our initial entry in. One, there wasn't as many people trying to get in, so I didn't feel that bottleneck claustrophobia.
Yeah, and before you continue, I will say that back when I went in 2001, I remember when I went. We did the group that I was with. We did, I think it was 9 days, and we did 7 days at Disney, and then we took a day at Islands of Adventure and a day at Busch Gardens in Tampa. And I couldn't help but think the entire time, I wish I was back in the Disney bubble. And I remember thinking that, and I was like, well, why would I think that? Because this place is fun, and and I look at this place and it looks like fun. Well, I was reminded very quickly when, with the crowds, there is something that can be said about that Disney bubble that is.
Oh, overall, and I'll talk about this at the end. Overall, yeah. I agree with what you're saying.
But I was reminded very quickly, and now that I have that sensitivity towards the motion sick, with the motion sickness and everything. Yeah, I kind of remember now why I preferred Disney over Universal, but it was still fun. Okay, now you can continue with what you were talking about with that last venture into the park that day that you and Josie had.
But now, if I can remember what I was saying.
It was smoother.
So getting in was smoother because there wasn't that initial beginning of the day rush to get in the park. The crowds had already dispersed, so it didn't feel overly crowded. So what we did is we went in, and the first thing Josie wanted to ride was the Rip Ride Rocket. And because she saw that coaster when we first went in the first time, and she's like, I want to ride that. So, and I get it, because I wanted to ride it too, but I get up there, and they have the test seats, and I appreciate that they have the test seats. And most of the places, they have them screened off so people aren't looking at you trying to get in the seat, whatever, which I appreciate. But I was not able to fit. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, Josie, we can't ride because I can't get on it. I just can't. And the way the apparatus is, it's made for a smaller person. I can't get on it. Well, the attendant that was there said, well, are you okay with her riding it if you see her get on and get off? And I looked at him and I said, really? And he said, yeah. I said, well, okay. So he took us upstairs through an elevator and got her right onto the ride. I was able to watch her get on the ride, and then about a minute and a half later, I watched her get off, and she came right to me, and I was able to wait right there. So that part of it, not disappointing her because I couldn't do something, was good. And I really appreciate the staff at Universal being so nice about everything, because they were great. The staff was absolutely top notch. Have no complaints about staff there.
And that is one thing that they do have on Disney, is they will let kids ride without the parents, if because I think that they realize that the size of the seats is an issue with some people, and so they accommodate in that way.
But at Disney, Josie's almost tall enough. She's almost old enough to be able to be in the park on her own anyway.
Yeah,
she's close.
She's got a couple years from that.
I think it's 14 is the age.
Yeah, 14 on your own, and then I think you can ride rides on your own
by yourself at 12. Yeah.
And I will say this: it's not just the staff that's nice; it's the people. So I was on Rip Ride Rocket.
Well,
right?
that's who the staff are, is the people.
And the guy that was next to me.
Oh, the guy next to you.
Was really nice. So we were going straight up, and the guy was like, "You got this! Give me this!" I was like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
I was like, "Ugh." He was like, "You got this!" And then we got off of the most intense part of the ride.
So
Yeah.
that is one thing I do appreciate greatly is we were fortunate to have very nice people that Josie sat with on all the rides that she rode on her own. We'll talk more about that later, but Josie was able to get on the ride and she loved it. I hate that I wasn't able to. And that's really my biggest complaint about Universal is that the ride apparatus, especially the coasters, is very size restrictive.
Right. That's right. The first time we ran into that day was the Mummy ride.
The Mummy ride.
Because I was able to ride. I wasn't going to ride at all.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get motion sick. But when I was able to get on the ride and you weren't, this is before we went back to the room, obviously.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay, I'll ride it.
And that one made you.
That
one probably set you off.
That and
followed by
the minions just like made me just really ill.
Yeah.
But the Mummy ride was awesome.
Yes.
And I saw Brendan Fraser at the end, so I was very happy about that.
It was
But
fun.
but
It was way more intense than they said it was gonna be.
either way, it was
They're restricted.
the restriction on the sizes
It's disappointing.
is disappointing. Okay. All right. So as far as the rest of your day, it sounds like it went pretty smoothly.
Yeah, so we did the Rip Rod Rocket, and then after that, Josie remembered seeing the Men in Black. So
Yeah, I didn't even.
yeah, so it's spinny, so you wouldn't have been good on it.
Okay, good.
But we went and rode Men in Black, and it's very much. It reminded me in a lot of ways of a combination of Ratatouille
And Buzz.
and Buzz Lightyear.
Yes.
It's
With
just
aliens.
easier than Buzz Lightyear.
So you got a handheld pistol, and you're in a cart, and it spins around and moves around, and your job is to shoot at aliens as you're going through, and you score points. And it was a lot of fun. I had a good time on it. Was able to get on it no problems. So we went and did that, and that was a lot of fun.
It's an easier version of Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, Josie did a lot
Yeah.
better with that. She
Than
was
she
able
with
to.
Buzz.
She was able to keep.
I could tell which one was mine.
She could tell which one was hers. She was pointing at the aliens, and she did a lot better than she did at Buzz. That was a fun ride. After that, we walked back through Simpsons Land, the Simpsons area of the park.
I think it's Krusty Land. Yeah.
Krusty Land, the Simpsons portion of the park. So we saw the Simpsons the ride.
Yes. I was like, I want to ride that.
Yeah, so we got on Simpsons the ride, and no like size restriction there. It was fine.
Yeah.
Got on, and it's a simulator ride. But what I thought was the funniest part was as you're in the ride queue, they're actually making fun of theme parks the entire time.
Yeah.
The cost of the food, how bad the food can be for the price you're paying. The thing that I thought was the funniest, he goes, "Here, you can have this small little cup for $10 of drink, and it's one free refill. And by one free refill, I mean, well, you drink the drink and then you wait for the ice to melt, and then you have water, and that's your refill."
Yes.
And he eats,
It's hilarious.
He eats the hot dog and then spits it out.
Yeah. I saw the one that cracked me up when we rode it the next day with the Honda condo.
Oh yeah.
Closed for ghost busting.
Free for clothes for
my
ghost
God.
busting. Then there was a part of it where there was one part where I don't know if you saw this one because I remember it from the first day. I didn't see it the second day. I was looking for it to point it out to you, but it was an advertisement where Krusty was talking about his park and how awesome it was, how he wanted to get the theme park money so he could drive a car that was powered by champagne.
Oh my God, that's great.
And he was talking about, come spend money at my park. It's the best park ever. You have the most fun.
Oh my God, that's
Just
great.
make sure you pay up for it so I can wear this jacket made of manuscripts from Abraham Lincoln. Wait, he was a president? Maybe I should read some of these.
Oh my God, that's great.
It was hilarious. The ride queue was absolutely great. I loved it because I like
And remember
Krusty.
the Lost and Found?
Oh yeah, there was this one
yeah,
part.
so-
They
Yeah,
made a boyfriend.
Yeah, right. It was finders keepers, losers weepers. Yeah.
Yes, and it was the two.
The two sisters, Marge's two sisters.
Marge's two sisters, and they made a boyfriend out of the lost and found items. And Homer came over and said, "Hey, this is my camera," and he took his camera, and that was the face. And then the boyfriend fell apart. And looked at, this is the longest relationship I've ever had. It was
And
great.
there was another one. I don't know. The guy behind the one of the games. He was blowing gum, and then it fell all over his
Hazard
face.
reported ahead.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. But
this,
but I'll say when I wrote it the next day, we did do it the next day. It made me sick too. It was. They kept telling me it's not as intense.
Well, I didn't remember it being as intense, but it actually, it's like being on a roller coaster, but you're flying through and like going all through Springfield, being chased by Sideshow Bob.
Yes.
Who escaped from prison.
Yeah.
It was not as bad. That's why I said
maybe we didn't remember it as being as bad, but when we got on it again, I was like, oh, maybe this is more
Yeah, and it didn't do very well for me, but I was able to kind of get a hold. Okay, so let's move on from the Simpsons ride. What else?
The octopus.
Yeah. So after that, we got on the alien. It's like an alien in the center, and it's kind of like Aladdin's Magic Carpets or Dumbo or those types of rides where you spin around.
Okay.
We got on that ride, and that was fun. Josie controlled it, and she made it go up and down.
And the characters talk to you while you're riding.
Yeah, they do.
Especially on the uncle. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
The characters talk to you, and then after that, we went down and we went to Transformers.
Yeah, it was
And we rode Transformers the Ride, which was another simulator. That one was pretty intense.
Okay, so I probably wouldn't have done
been
one.
good on that one.
I was sad because of Bumblebee.
I know, but we rode that, and that was a really good ride, and I really enjoyed it. And then after that, Josie got to meet Bumblebee.
My favorite Transformer.
Her favorite Transformer. So
the best Transformer.
she got to meet Bumblebee outside of that, and then the Mardi Gras parade was starting to happen at that point. So we stopped and we watched some of the Mardi Gras parade. Josie collected some beads.
She got a lot of beads.
Got a lot of beads. And don't like get upset because it's not like true Mardi Gras like what you're thinking. No, it's just
there is no shirt lifting
it's
going on.
family friendly for this particular thing. So that was a lot of fun seeing that parade. And then we started to make our way toward the exit because the park was getting ready to close, and Josie wanted to do Villain Con.
I saw it, I was like, this is the thing I wanted to do. Because like I love Despicable Me villain.
Yep.
Especially Brad. I love Brad.
Yep. And so Villain Con was really cool. I thought it was like you're standing on a walkway with a laser rifle, and you're shooting at minions and other targets on a screen. It's like Buzz Lightyear or
Men in Black.
Except you're standing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Buzz Lightyear or
Toy Story Mania.
Or Men in Black. Only you're standing and you're holding a rifle, and you're shooting at these targets, and it's a moving walkway. So the only thing about that is if you're tired at the end of the day and you've been standing all day already, you got to stand for this ride to move you through. So that was the only thing with that. But outside of that, it was really fun.
I loved it. The Vicious Six.
Yeah, and Josie did well with that too. So
that was probably my favorite.
But basically, to kind of wrap up the first day, the first part of the day was very, but the second part of the day ended very well. I ended it in bed, getting some well needed rest because I was sick.
Yeah.
All right, so we had the second day, and I will say we entered actually in through Islands of Adventure.
Yes.
The wait queue to get into there way better than to get into Studios.
I think we might have missed the initial rush though.
I think we did miss the initial rush, but but the way they had it set up, way better.
Yeah, it was.
Far and away better. So this is where I actually started. I recognize things because I remember the first time I went in 2001, going in through that entrance and going, oh my God, I'm looking around for Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm like, it looks looks like
same thing.
Adventureland because I was like, where's not Pineapple and I, but the place where you get the Dole Whip and
Yeah. I know exactly where you're talking about.
I was like, oh my God, where's
Right over by the Tiki Room.
yeah. By the Tiki Room.
It's a tiki room.
But I recognized a lot of that. So the first thing we did was, I think we went over to Hulk. Didn't we do Hulk? And
Hulk was the first thing we
Hulk-
attempted, yeah.
So I did not do this because I had done that ride back in 2001 and it was awesome. However, I knew that my constitution was not going to take it. I would not be able to enjoy the rest of the day if I did. So I'm going to let them take it away as far as like talking about the ride. But
So
once again,
I went over and they had the test seat and did not fit. So I was not able to ride Hulk. And that was one of the things I wanted to do on this trip, that and Velocicoaster. And I was not able to ride it because, well, the apparatus was too restrictive of size. And yes, I know I'm partially to blame for that. Whatever.
that doesn't make it
couldn't get on-
less
I couldn't-
disappointing.
I couldn't get on the ride.
That doesn't
I
make
I
it.
wanted to do Adventures of Harry Potter.
I was able to get Josie on the ride, so she was able to ride it. Then again, there was these two really nice ladies there, and I said, look, I'm not going to be able to ride it. She's going to be here, and they were like, oh, we'll make sure she's okay, and so they were really sweet about it.
They let me in the middle, which I love, because
Yeah.
stuff like that, I like being in the middle because I
Alright.
don't want to fall out.
All right,
Yeah.
so Josie, actually talk about the ride.
Oh my gosh! So but the scariest part was at the beginning when you blast off and go. Boo! And I was sad because I didn't even hear the roar. I didn't hear the roar.
Yeah,
Roar.
she could.
Ah!
You were probably too worried about being blasted off.
Yeah, probably.
But it was a pretty intense ride, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went upside down like 5 times. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, but we were glad once again because of the way Universal has that set up, you were able to ride.
And I was able to see her get on and get off as she came right to me. So I'm happy that she was able to ride. I'm disappointed that I wasn't able to.
Okay, all right. So then we walked over and did Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
So that's another one that I rode in 2001 that I absolutely loved. And I actually, to this day, compare all simulators to, and they all fail because that one is amazing.
That was really good.
But once again, I knew I wouldn't be able to ride it now because even back then, when I didn't get motion sick on simulators, I actually did get a little like queasy on that one. So I knew that if I was a little queasy back then, I was going to be absolutely sick by the end of this. So I stayed off, but the two of them went on and rode.
Yeah, and I was able. It was awesome. I was able to ride this one. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I will say at the end of it, even I was a little queasy, and I'm usually good with anything.
Right.
It doesn't bother me at all. So
Me too.
I was feeling it a little bit, but that was a great ride. I agree with what Terry was saying. It's one of the best simulators I've been on.
I mean, everyone talks about Pandora. To me, that's the daddy of Pandora. To me, that was the first simulator where you really honestly felt like you're in it. So, and I did like Pandora, but I still like Spider-Man better.
And one thing I'll say, and this happened on Transformers too, it happened on Spider-Man, when you get to the end of the ride, and you're like coming back and you're like the hero, the staff is there clapping for you. They're applauding.
They do that on every ride.
Yeah,
did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. So
Every
I was like, that's kinda
ride,
cool.
every ride when you come off, because they did it on the Mummy too, and they did it on on a couple of rides that we're going to talk about too. They clap for you when you come off the staff, and actually those that are waiting actually kind of join in on that too. But yeah,
Did Did this actually happen?
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, they're like, welcome back. You made it. Congratulations. I mean, that's another thing that I wish Disney would do. That would, I think that actually adds to the experience of riding the rides.
Yeah.
Wait,
Um,
this actually happened?
All right, so next, what did we do next? I can't remember.
The next thing we walked over and we ended up over in the Toon area.
Oh yes,
so-
yes,
so
the Toon Lagoon.
Toon Lagoon. So we ran into
Betty
Popeye, Olive Oil, and Betty Boop.
My favorite.
I bonded with Betty because of the
Yeah.
red and everything.
So it was really cool meeting those characters. All of them were amazing. Olive Oil was great. Popeye was great.
They had the voices
They
down.
had the voices down. Betty Boop was fantastic. That was a lot of fun. And then we saw Dudley Do Right's
Ripsaw Falls.
Falls.
I did not write this because I had zero want of getting wet during the day. So
Now here's one where I went up to do the test seat. I wasn't able to fit in it. However, as I was walking through the ride queue, I was telling them, hey, I can't get on it. I couldn't fit in the test seat. And they said, well, wait, we've got another, we have another log. We have a special log that's called the Goose.
Yeah.
And it's only got 4 seats instead of 5. So one of the seats in the back is double.
right.
So I was able to get into that one just fine.
That's what I want more rides
Yeah,
to do.
they should. I wish they would do that. So I was able to get on that one just fine. Rode it with Josie, and we got absolutely.
They got
soaked.
soaked. And here's the thing, and here's something that's different from when I was there in 2001, because I actually think I did ride that ride back in 2001.
Yeah.
They have the warmers, kind of like they do at Busch Gardens
To dry you off.
to dry you off in Williamsburg. Back then, it was free. It is no longer free
It's no
now.
longer free. They charge you.
They charge you to
and
use the warmers.
And the lockers.
Yeah,
So they
that's
charge
something
you.
we need to talk
Yeah,
about.
so there, when we initially on the first day got to Gringotts, I had my backpack on, and there's 2 sizes of lockers. There's one small size which you can fit like glasses, phones, wallets, those kinds of things. There's small items in it, and those are free. But the bigger lockers, like that can fit a backpack in. And they don't tell you this up front, and they say you can't take that on the ride. You have to get a locker.
And when you're on the ride, you can see why, because there's literally
no room
no
for it.
room.
But they don't tell you this up front. You find out at the point of entry. Oh, well, you have to get a locker. You can't take that on the ride. You can't. There's no place for it. Okay, well, go get a locker, and my backpack won't fit in one of the small free ones. So, $2 for a big one. Every time, and it's just for you to wait in line, get on the ride, come off, and then you got to pull your stuff out and go to the next ride where you got to spring for another $2
Yes,
every time.
nickel
I mean,
and dime.
so
that is one
That's
ding.
one nickel. That's one ding.
That's one
Nickel
ding
and
on
dime.
Universal is they do, and not just that, for a lot of things they nickel and dime you to death.
So the next day I adjusted, and we're talking about day 2 now, Islands of Adventure. I adjusted. I didn't take my backpack in. All I had was my wallet, my phone, my glasses, and that was it, and room key, and that was it.
I held things when I couldn't ride the rides.
Yeah. So, but I was able to use the free smaller lockers,
Yeah.
except at Dudley Do Right Ripsaw Falls. Even the small lockers cost $4.
Four?
the small
Oh, you
locker.
didn't tell me it was $4.
Yeah,
Oh
for
my
the small locker that was free
God.
everywhere else, because they knew you didn't want your phone to get wet, so they were gonna get you.
Yep.
So
Oh my gosh.
so rather than do that, Leslie didn't want to ride, so I left the stuff with Leslie.
Who's Leslie?
Cherry.
Okay.
You are.
Okay, go ahead.
Left the stuff with her, so since she wasn't riding, and we went and got on and got soaked.
You guys came off, and I was like, I told you so.
I knew, because it was a log flume.
Water got in my ears and almost in my eyes.
That might have been Josie's first log flume ride, though.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Because we've never,
Crazy.
because I don't think they've ever. She hasn't been to Carowinds. I don't even know if they even have the powder keg flume
They probably do.
at there anymore.
But it was a fun ride. It was Dudley Do Right theme. You know, you had the classic stuff with what's the villain's name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Smedley or oh god, I can't remember.
Well, anyway, they had someone tied to a train track, which is
Had the girl tied to the train track.
Penelope, I think.
Penelope, yep.
And did all that stuff. So it was a lot of fun, and it was down memory lane for me with Dudley Do Right. Josie probably doesn't remember Dudley Do Right, but I do.
Oh no.
Because they don't play him anymore on TV.
Right. Okay. All right. So after getting drenched, I can't remember what.
Falls. I think that's when we went over into. We were getting close to time for the horror show.
Yes.
So we went over to Hogsmeade to get on the Hogwarts Express to go back over to Diagon Alley.
And we'll just go ahead and talk about both rides on the Hogwarts Express. That is so freaking cool.
Yeah,
it is so cool. I love, like, one way, it's a very positive thing. You see the Weasley, like, if you're going into...
this is from Hogsmeade to
Diagon Alley. You see the Weasley twins playing pranks outside, and
doing their advertisements of their.
And then in the windows, like, you see and you hear the shadows of
Harry, Hermione, and
Ron. And they're talking and saying things, and the chocolate frogs get loose, and you can see them on the window. And I thought that was just like super cool.
It was really cool. I liked it. I thought both rides to and from were great.
All right, so, and we'll just kind of leave it at there because
oh, you do have to have a park hopper ticket to be able to ride that ride.
Yes, because it basically transfers you from one part to another, essentially, without walking.
Yes.
I definitely. I really enjoyed that. Okay, so once we got back into Diagon Alley, we left really quickly because it was super crowded.
Well, plus we were trying to make a show for the Hollywood Horror Show,
but we didn't make it.
We didn't make it because, well, we said, okay, well, we don't have time. We're not going to make this show, so that's when we went back to Krusty Land. We decided to ride Krusty.
And good Lord, I got sick. Oh my God.
We already talked about the ride a little bit. That's when we realized it was more intense than we thought.
Oh my God. I actually almost vomited on it. I'm not gonna lie. I got so sick.
But I'll ask you, outside of it making you nauseous.
Oh, it was
how did you
fun
like
as all get out. Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing ride. And like, the ones that make me sick, they're amazing, and that's what makes me so sad, that they make me sick. And unless I have non-drowsy Dramamine, I can't ride them, and that makes me sad.
We
forgot to get non-drowsy Dramamine. So next time we do this, we're gonna have to invest in in a stash of it because I'm gonna need it. All right, so we did Krusty's. I think we went to lunch.
The place. It's like a food court. It's called Fast Food Boulevard.
Yes.
But it has all of the Simpsons themed restaurants like Krusty Burger and Luigi's Pizza and
Moe's thing.
Moe's thing. So
the Chicken Shack.
The Chicken Shack.
So we did mobile order for this. We ordered from Krusty. We ordered Krusty Burgers.
They were okay.
Now, what I'll say is the mobile order for Disney is superior than the mobile order for Universal, and here's why. At Disney, when I did mobile order, it was ready in seconds, and when I went up there, it was actually ready.
Right.
The mobile order for Universal, it took maybe 20 minutes, and it said it was ready, and I went up there, and it wasn't ready. They said, oh, well, so-and-so has it, and they're working on it. Okay, well, the app says it's ready. Why does it say it's ready?
Right.
So I didn't get into that argument, but the food finally came out.
It was okay.
And the burger was okay. It was good. It was a theme park burger.
I will say the Disney quick service
the food is better.
Is superior. Like their burgers are way superior.
Their burgers are better at Disney. But you know, we got our lunch. We did.
I did like the crusty, the curly.
The curly fries were good.
The fries.
Now part of the thing is we said, okay, we're gonna have lunch, and then we'll try to make the next show for the horror show. Well, because the mobile order took so much longer than we anticipated, we missed the next show. So after Krusty Burger, we said, okay, well, we've got Express Pass and ET's right there. We want to ride ET.
I loved ET.
I love ET too.
Oh my God,
That was
That was my favorite.
I think that might actually be my favorite ride.
Loved ET. We went and rode ET, and we helped ET go back to his home planet and save his home
And save his home planet.
Thanks you. At the end, I told you like.
He actually
said
says your name.
Yeah.
So he takes a card. They give you a card. They ask for your name, and at the end, they're like, he's like, thank you, Charlie, Josie, and Leslie.
Yes, he did.
It was
Yes.
adorable.
It was freaking adorable.
It was. I loved it. And you're on a bicycle, and you're going through Los Angeles, the neighborhoods like they did.
Like in the movie.
Like in the movie. You do the whole scene where you're flying by the moon, and oh, it was so cool. I thoroughly enjoyed. And it's a dark ride. It was reminiscent to me of the same type of concept as Peter Pan's Flight. Only
I actually think it's better than Peter Pan's Flight.
Because it was there was just so much to it. It was a lot.
Yes.
And they actually show your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish that in Peter Pan they would also take your name on a card.
Well,
and Mr. Cook would say,
and
help
But they do,
Josie,
but
help me.
they also do that in Small World, though. They do get your name in Small
and
World.
the ride itself was longer.
Yes.
Peter Pan's Flight.
Agreed.
But
100%.
now I love Peter Pan's Flight, but I think ET's got him one up there.
Right.
So we finished ET.
All right. Okay. After ET,
We went over and we made it to the show, the Hollywood Horror Makeup Show.
Excited. Oh, no.
So first thing is we got there in plenty of time to be able to look around. And Cherry, I'll let you talk about that because I know you were excited about
I
artifacts.
was all about the artifacts, the horror artifacts that were in that show. Seeing all the stuff with Lon Chaney, like the replica of his toolkit that he would use to make his makeup effects. They talked about him and Jack Pierce and all the other classic horror movie makeup artists in the queue line. I will say the express pass for that is definitely worth it.
Yes.
Because it does fill up very quickly.
We got in the front row.
You get in the front row. The show itself is hilarious.
Love it.
Loved it.
That might have been my favorite thing there.
It actually is my absolute favorite thing that we did the entire 2 days that we were there. I didn't get picked for the thing for the volunteer. However,
That was a college student that got pulled up on stage.
yes.
But someone got called out for throwing something up on stage when they didn't.
Yes.
But it was part of the show.
It was part of the show. But they referred back to her several
And
times.
she gave it right back
She
to
gave
him. So
it
she
right
ended up
to
being so Josie ended up being part of that show for that day.
Yes.
And the girl was like killing the werewolf at the end. He was like, she went to the door like, Josie.
Yes, that was funny.
I'm living under your bed. But I love also how they talked about also the history of horror movie makeup. They talked about Rick Baker and the effects that he did for American Werewolf in London. Lon Chaney. They talked about that transformation scene in The Wolfman. To me, that was the best thing that we did the entire weekend. I loved that
Yes.
show.
That and E.T.
Those are my two favorite things that we did the entire weekend. Okay, so after that, is that when we went back
we went back over to Islands of Adventure, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because
So
that was the only reason we went over to Universal.
yes.
Was to catch that show. So then we went back over to the Hogwarts Express. We went back over to Hogsmeade, and that's where we went into Three Broomsticks and finally got us some butterbeer.
Butterbeer.
I go.
Josie
It
got
was a-
lemonade because she
Josie got
wasn't a big fan.
She
I
did
have.
taste the butterbeer though.
Yeah, she did.
It's non-alcoholic.
I don't like butterscotch either. Like the first half of it was okay. I tasted more of the shortbread than the butterscotch, but the longer we got into it, the more I tasted the butterscotch, and I was like, eh.
I liked it. I mean, but I like butterscotch, so.
And I did like the foam on top. The foam was kind
Yeah, the phone was
I-
so good.
Me personally, I liked it,
of, yeah.
but I also like butterscotch and I love shortbread. So.
Right.
So.
I like the shortbread.
Yeah.
It was a win-win for me, but if you, it is on the sweet side. So if you're not into really sweet drinks, what have you, then maybe it's not your thing. But
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
And I would next time I would say that we should go in there to eat, not just to
Yes,
drink.
yeah.
Because there was a lot of atmosphere in that. You know, very,
I agree.
very, very
I
themed.
actually think I would prefer three after seeing inside both of them. I think I would prefer to eat at Three Broomsticks rather than Leaky Cauldron.
Leaky Cauldron, right. So then we went and rode, Josie went and rode the Harry Potter ride.
I still like that.
We'll
I
talk
wasn't-
about that because I could tell by the apparatus that I was going to get sick. So I was like, nope, I'm not riding this. And Josie, after she rode it, said, yeah, you wouldn't have been able to ride
Yeah. So we go up and again, I test the ride apparatus, the seat. I'm not able to fit.
Oh, so sad because that
And I
was
was-
one of the rides he wanted.
It's one of the rides I wanted to ride.
He mentioned
Continue straight.
And here's the thing. I'm just like, they all told me, you're like right there. You're like that close. Can you squeeze in a little more? And I couldn't. I was squeezing in as much as I could, and it just wouldn't work. So
Right.
again, took Josie through the line queue, got her on it. And actually, Cherry went through the line queue.
I did
with
go
us
through
with
the
this
line
one.
queue, and they actually had a place to sit while you waited.
They have a child swap
Smart.
room. So they have a child swap room in all the rides.
Yes.
So that you can wait there for the people to come back. I tended to wait right there where you get off the ride to make sure I received Josie back when she came off the ride. Just because I'm a dad and I'm not going to take my eyes off
Oh,
of.
absolutely not. Okay, so
Yeah.
Josie, why don't you actually talk about the ride?
Yeah.
So, the reason I said she wouldn't be able to ride because we went upside down twice, actually. And
Which shocks me
So it's
because
like a coaster.
I thought it was like more of a simulator,
it
but
was
it's a
not
coaster.
It's a coaster.
And you're sideways, like you're facing like
Yeah.
out.
Even I got a
Continue
little.
straight.
Even I got a little. Which
Oh.
is, I'm never.
She was walking kind
She's
of
much.
funny after.
She was much more after her.
I was a little delirious.
She's much more like her dad in that respect. But yeah, she even got. But as far as the ride goes, how was it?
It
It was awesome.
We're gonna stop at Buc-ee's.
Oh, we're gonna stop at Buc-ee's, yay!
Well,
Yay,
I want to top
Buc-ee's!
off the tank, and you and I haven't had food, so.
Yes. We had but I'm glad that was fun, and then we rode and we were all able to ride the hippogriff ride.
That was fun.
That was awesome.
It looked kind of like the barnstormer, like when you're actually looking at it, but it's faster
Yeah.
and a little bit more intense.
It's like their version of the Barnstormer, but yeah, it is.
It's
a little
faster and a little
faster.
bit more intense.
Yes,
And I
agree.
love that.
Yeah, I like the hippogriff ride. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun little coaster.
And after that, then we do King Kong Skull Island.
Was that? Yes,
so-
we did.
So
That
we
was
went.
a good ride.
You know what? We did Kong Skull Island before we even went over to.
Oh, that's right.
So let's
okay.
talk about Kong Skull Island.
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
It made me sick too.
So, but
Not quite as bad.
it's almost like you're in a truck, like think of like Kilimanjaro safaris, but
Yeah, like a safari type
a
ride.
safari
yes.
type truck, and you're going into Skull Island, and you're being chased by dinosaurs and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and I will say, if you have arachnophobia like me, you probably do not want to ride that ride. Because
But-
I have arachnophobia, and like there were a lot of spiders.
Yeah, that is true.
But
She was actually screaming.
Yeah,
But-
that was the scariest part to me.
But but as you're being chased through Skull Island
By all these dinosaurs.
And large arachnids and what have you, Kong is actually protecting you.
Yes.
I was like, huh?
And fighting off all of these monsters.
And
that are
I was
chasing
like, Kong. Yeah, Kong got our back. That's right. And also, you're not going to see very few videos. Obviously, if you're watching this, they do not allow video recording on pretty much any and most rides.
At the end of the Kong ride, though, is probably one of the most amazing animatronics I've ever seen in my life.
The Kong face
the King
was
Kong animatronic is absolutely amazing.
That looks
incredible.
so realistic.
It really did.
Honestly, Disney has nothing on that animatronic.
No, there is no
animatronic.
There is no animatronic at Disney or anywhere that I've
comes
seen
close.
that's even remotely close. That was incredible.
I've ever seen, except for the FNAF animatronics. Those are the best animatronics.
Okay,
ever.
well, for a different reason, but okay.
They're awesome.
So we're taking a pause from our review to go to Buc-ee's. I think this little girl has become a big old fan of Buc-ee's.
I almost like it more than Universal.
That's saying something. Wow. I mean, all right. So we decided to get food at Buc-ee's. I got the pulled pork sandwich with the chips, and you got the 3-meat sandwich, I think.
3-meat sandwich with sausage, brisket, and turkey
With the tots.
with the tots. The sandwich itself was $12.99.
Yeah, they got
realize that.
they got theme park price tickets for their food. And then Josie, you got the chicken tenders, and what'd you get? Fries with it?
Yep.
Yep. Awesome. Let's dive in because I'm starving.
A little bit of a course correction here.
Yep. So these sandwiches I think were like $12.99.
Well, yours is 8. I think.
Mine was 8.
I think it's on the thing.
So look how thick that thing is.
But this is the 3-meat. It was $13, and the flavor is absolutely amazing.
Oh my god!
That is probably.
This is actually some of the best barbecue I've ever
Yeah,
had.
and this is worth $13. I'd go get it again. That's amazing. I love it.
I would say this: these chicken tenders and
That's good.
fries are the best chicken tenders and fries I've ever had.
Well,
Awesome.
And that's saying something.
she's
She's a chicken tender connoisseur.
This is true, but yeah, the food here is at Buc-ee's is amazing.
It's really good.
I would eat here every night.
All right, we're back on the road after a wonderful stop at Buc-ee's. That food is so good. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it was. You know what? My initial sticker shock. I'll take it back. That was worth it. It was good.
God, that food was so good.
And the portion was like massive.
Yes. Okay. So what were we talking about before we got out of the car? It was second day. Kong Skull Island. I think it's
Skull
what we're.
Island and the animatronic. That was amazing.
Yes. Okay. All right. So after that, we did the Harry Potter stuff, which we already talked about.
And then we went over to the horror show, which we talked about.
Well, we had already done that.
Came back.
Yes. That's when you guys. Well, Josie went and did. We went to Jurassic Park, and Josie did the Velocicoaster. So once again,
Once again, I was not able to get on, and this was again one that I was really looking forward to riding. So I was disappointed that I was not able to ride. However, Josie was able to get on. I was able to go through the ride queue with her.
Surprising enough, the person next to me, I never rode it either.
Yeah. And you know, she had, and once again, really nice lady was there in the line queue. Kind of took Josie under her wing while they were on the ride. And as soon as Josie got off, I was there waiting for her. So,
To be honest, I'm happy you didn't ride it because your blood would probably go all the way to your head 5 seconds when you go underwater.
Well, I was gonna say, Josie, go ahead and talk about the ride.
I wanted to ride it.
So we were close to the water, right? We went upside down while we were close to the water. For 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
And there's 2 blast offs. One's at the beginning, the second one's near the end. I was like, ah!
2 blast offs? Wow.
There are 2 blast offs, really?
Ah!
Whoa. Okay. Well, we'll talk about like how did you like the ride?
It was awesome.
You came off like
You were jazzed up.
I couldn't walk.
Yeah, she was walking a little funny.
I
yeah.
could not walk at all.
Were you scared?
Yes.
You were scared.
Yeah. I wouldn't I be?
Well, I mean, I get it because I get scared on that kind
That's
of
the
stuff.
most intense coaster you've ever ridden, including Hulk.
Yeah.
I think the top speed on that coaster is 70 miles per hour.
Woo. 70 miles?
Yeah.
Seriously? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Hulk is like 49.
No, Hulk is like 60.
Yeah. Hulk is-
No,
but-
they said it was 49.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay. Well, it's still intense.
Oh my god.
But Josie really enjoyed that.
Maine.
I've already got Maine.
I mean,
All right. So after that, you guys were in line for that for quite some time.
it was even the express line was long. The standby line for that was 2 hours long,
Woo.
and we probably waited in the express pass line for about 45 minutes.
And that's actually why we did not do the Hagrid's ride, because it is the only ride that does not have the express line.
And it was 105 minutes.
Yeah, and we just kind of we had other things that we wanted to do, and and we missed the early entry.
And I wasn't going to wait 105 minutes for a ride that I potentially wouldn't be able to ride.
Right, exactly. But so after that, we went into Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss
Seuss Landing.
Seuss Landing was so cute. It was fun.
It was.
That
Well,
hot
first-
dog. Oh my god.
I was about to say, first thing we did was we got a little bit of a snack.
It was big.
Josie got a corn dog.
That's like the biggest corn dog I think I've ever seen in my entire
It was
life.
a foot-long corn dog.
Whew.
Cherry got the jumbo chocolate chip cookie, and I got a churro.
Yeah,
which
that's
is a
probably the
foot-long.
biggest cookie I've ever had.
Yeah.
And that was your very first
That was
churro,
my first
too.
churro ever. I thought it was good. They were out of the chocolate dipping sauce, which I was kind of sad about
Right.
because I was wanting to experience the two together. But I guess that's something for next time.
And I can't really do churros because I have an intolerance to cinnamon with my stomach. But the first thing we did was we went and rode their version of the People Mover,
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
which was
the trolley train, Dr. Seuss trolley train ride.
so
It was
much
fun.
fun.
I loved it. The animatronics there too was so cute.
I love the animatronics. I love that you were able to see most of the park. Like you
Yeah.
could overlook, like you could see the Hulk. I did give it. That's like one ride I did get video of.
They definitely, and you definitely saw all of Seuss Landing.
Yes.
We saw 2 new rides that we got 3 actually.
Yeah. After that, we went and did the carousel, the Seuss
Yeah.
Oh my
carousel.
gosh, that was so fun.
I love the Seuss characters as the horse,
like the-
quote unquote horses.
It's the pony ride, but it's Dr. Seuss.
Exactly. I think it's actually longer than the Disney carousel,
It is.
Might
actually.
be.
And then we went on One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish,
I'm sorry.
where
Mom.
I proceeded to I got like, so the ride, I did get a little bit of the ride, but after I started getting splashed with water, I stopped filming and put it under my shirt.
So it's basically like Aladdin's Magic Carpet or Dumbo or the Alien ride over in the Simpson area of the park, with the twist, because if you don't follow the instructions that it gives you whether to go up or down,
I did though.
She did.
you get splashed by the fish that are around the. You
I
get,
followed the
hold
instructions.
on. But at the very end, it says, "Now you choose. You go up or down," and you could either get wet or not. We don't know. It's random. It's
It's
at the end.
random.
Yeah, but
Which is why you ended up getting.
no, we did it while I was following.
She did, and
Oh, wow.
and it was actually when we were following the instructions that I got beaned one time, and then the second time, like right in my ear.
Oh.
And it was like a really forceful jet too. I was like, oh my god,
Well, the fish was spitting at you. I
god.
don't know.
It was almost
But
a
it was a
snake.
lot of fun, and it was really fun to do at night with it all lit up and everything. And then
After that, we did the cat in the hat ride.
we did the Cat in the Hat ride. That I
I actually enjoyed that.
I really enjoyed that. It's kind of like Winnie the Pooh, but I'm just gonna say it. I think I like this ride better than Winnie the Pooh.
It's got a few spinnies.
But it wasn't. But it
Wasn't
wasn't
super
super intense, and so I could actually do it. But I really, really enjoyed that Cat in the Hat ride.
We love Dr. Seuss anyway, so that,
Yes.
I need more rides than that before.
So that was, I mean, that was that. As far as that was the last thing we really did. And,
Other than Villain, I went and did Villains Con.
we left Islands of Adventure and we walked over to Universal, the front of the park again. And so because Josie was adamant that Cherry would really like VillainCon, and I agree.
And and I did. I really did. It was a lot of fun.
So we went over and we did VillainCon. We blasted some villains and some minions and some
minions.
targets.
So,
And
then we left.
then that was the end of our night. That end of the night, we got out just before the Mardi Gras parade began.
Yep.
And we took the walkway back over to the Hard Rock Hotel.
Yep. Okay, so our final thoughts on kind of everything on this trip.
So once I got my bearings with Universal, I was better with it. My biggest gripe is the size restriction. There were so many rides that I wanted to ride, like really wanted to ride, that I wasn't able to. And before you get all bent out of shape, you should lose weight, whatever. I get all that. I do. And
That doesn't
whatever.
make it less disappointing.
That doesn't make it less disappointing to not be able to experience something with your daughter.
Right.
And am I to blame some for that? Yes, but at the same time, at Disney, they don't have those size restrictions. You're able to ride just about everything, regardless of your size or shape.
Right.
And there are some people that can't control their size or shape, so it's very exclusive in that regard.
And me, kind of.
For the size restrictions on the rides.
Right.
That's my biggest gripe with Universal, and that is actually probably enough to make me not want to go back there until I'm able to fit on those rides, which may be never, because I'm older now and it's harder for me to
Your
drop
body
like that.
changes when you get
Yeah.
older, people. It just does. It just.
So for that alone, Disney still has me. I mean,
Agreed.
Disney was
magical place on earth.
Disney was so much better this time around than even the last time we went, which was better than the previous time.
Agreed.
Every time it gets better.
You can definitely see Bob Iger reforming the culture that was previously in place with the cast members,
Yes.
because previous to this trip, before COVID happened, since COVID happened through this trip, you wouldn't have even seen a cast member come up to a little girl and say, "Hey, I loved your dance. Do you want to ride Guardians?" That would
Exactly.
have never happened.
Not while
Not while Chapek was in.
Chapek was in charge.
And that wasn't the only piece of magic that happened for us. Like the lady when Cherry decided not to ride Tron because she was afraid it would make her sick.
Yes.
She got out of the line queue, and then the lady that was there letting her out of the queue said, "You know what? Since she's not going to ride, why don't you guys ride it? And then here's a fast pass to ride it again."
Or lightning
back to
lane.
back. A
Yes.
lightning lane to ride it back to back.
I was so happy.
So-
That's one of my favorite rides now.
So
Yeah.
we got to ride Tron back to back, basically, and before the changes, before Iger came back, I don't believe that would have happened.
Oh, it absolutely wouldn't have happened.
To be honest, I was really happy because Tron's one of my favorite rides now.
Yeah.
I love
I know they had a lot of fun on that ride.
What I will say is, I have nothing but good to say about the staff at Universal. They were all amazing. The staff at the Hard Rock Hotel was amazing.
Yes.
The staff at the Bay Lake was amazing.
Oh yes.
So I mean, overall, it was a great trip. I do still have Disney ranked higher though.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with that. Now, would I do Universal again? If we stayed at Hard Rock or one of the premier hotels where we can get that express pass, that was worth the money you paid for to do
By itself.
the hotel.
So
Absolutely.
it's like $400.
Now I will say that what they should do is include the parking with your resort fee.
Yeah.
The parking is separate. They charge
It
you.
was $31.
That's what I was talking about with the nickel and diming. They charge you separate to park at the hotel. So that I do not like. But even with my restrictions as far as being sick, getting sick on rides, I probably would still do it again. I probably would only do like 2 days like we did this time, because I don't necessarily think we need more than 2 days, as long as we had the little hopper thing,
The express pass, yeah.
and with the express pass. But I'm still a Disney girl, no doubt. So Josie, what are your final thoughts about the trip?
1 out of 10 if one's bad and 1 and 10 is good. I'll probably give it about a 9.5. No, 8.5.
What are you talking about for?
Like in general, the Universal trip.
Okay.
The reason I give it an 8.5, it takes off a point because my dad wasn't able, my mom and dad weren't able to ride stuff that they wanted to ride. Because mom her motion sickness and dad his
Size.
And it takes another half point because everything is so dang expensive.
It is expensive.
It is expensive there.
$63 for a wand that you can only use at Harry Potter Land but can't use at home.
And one thing.
I wanted it and I love it.
One thing I'll say about the interactive wand,
It doesn't always work.
it doesn't always work, and as Josie was saying, it only works in Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley. But
I still love it.
you wave the wand a certain way, and a light comes on in the window. Or
Or the feather floats.
the
or-
feather floating was kind of cool, but
Yeah.
We only saw one
Control.
kid doing it. It was
That made
hard
it
to get
work.
it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Or
it's
you-
not functioning.
or you turn on a water fountain.
Yes.
I mean, for that much money that they're making off of those wands, because it's $63 a pop minimum, and there were hundreds of people trying to get in that place
Hundreds.
Maybe thousands.
at one time.
Yes.
I'm not talking about it, but think about the thousands of people that go through and buy a wand for $63
Or 75.
or 75
Yeah,
or,
yeah,
or
yeah,
125 for the
Yeah,
top
the,
end
yeah,
ones.
the limited edition ones are like 75, and then
Up
they
to
have the top end
125,
up to
yeah.
125.
So the people that are buying those wands, think about how many people are buying those wands. Don't you think you could make something a little cooler than turning a light on or turning on a water fountain?
Agreed.
Or I felt like that was like, I was like, that's it? We paid?
I don't think we would buy another. I don't think Josie would need to buy another
The
one.
wand itself is beautiful, and the one that Josie chose for herself,
I mean, it has a pink base on it.
it's
I mean, come on.
100% Josie, and I love that she got that one because I think it fits her and her
I
personality.
was
It's
gonna
perfect.
get Luna Look Good, but I saw the pink one. I was like,
Yeah.
I want that one.
Yeah, and it's not even a character she's familiar with.
Yeah.
It was a
Fantastic. Beasts.
one of the Fantastic Beasts characters. But
But yeah, I was just like,
yeah,
that's all that is? No,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
whatever.
but so Josie, as far as the Disney portion goes, what are your final thoughts on that?
10 million out.
A million out of 10.
So you definitely rank Disney higher too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bucky's.
And Bucky's.
And Bucky's, she loves
Bucky's
Bucky's.
100,000 out of 10.
So she's ranking Bucky's higher.
She told Bucky when we were just in there. She told him, like, you're my second. This is the second most magical place on earth next to Disney, and it's way better than Universal. And Bucky loved that.
It is.
Bucky's is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bucky's is pretty cool.
But so my final thoughts are the Disney portion, of course, is just to me it was just the best. I loved how much the magic has come back. I love the memories we made. I love I'm so glad we saved our snack credits.
For Epcot, yes.
That is definitely the way to do it, because to me that's a lot more value. Like whatever festival you're getting, the food booze they have, that is the way to spend your snack credits.
We didn't even want dinner that night.
We didn't even have dinner that night.
And that saved our our final quick service meal credits for breakfast the next morning when
Yes.
we checked out.
Yes.
So that was
I
great.
forgot to ask.
Yes.
What was your favorite thing from snack credits that we did?
From what? Mine was the tostado de la costa.
Mine was the braised beef.
Mine was probably the rainbow cake or the hummingbird cake.
Yeah.
Or that black forest cake.
The Black Forest cake.
That Black Forest
That
cake
was my
was
favorite
good.
dessert.
But definitely save your snack credits and do the food boost because
If you're there during a festival.
Most of the time they do have festivals going on. I don't think that there's a time that they don't have festivals going on
But
now.
just walk your way around Epcot and eat.
Eat because that's a much more you get a lot more out of your money for those snack credits.
Because you're spending anywhere from, rather than paying $5 for a bottle of water to use a snack credit on, we just carried waters through the parks and that we already had, and we were refilling.
And
those
we're
bottles.
refilling those bottles, yes.
And then you're getting for a snack credit price items that are like between $8 and $12.
Yes.
And the flavors were amazing, and we had 15 snack credits that we walked around the world and used, or walked around World Showcase and used.
Right.
And we all ate our fill from lunchtime all the way through dinner.
Yes.
I said, for the first time before, I said, hello, can I get a simple beef Wellington?
And Beef Wellington was our first thing.
She finally had a simple beef Wellington. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap up here. Oh, I guess my thoughts on Universal.
Yes.
My dings are the same as yours. Ride restrictions as far as size, even though I can pretty much get on any of the rides, my tendency towards motion sickness limited me on what I could ride. There were definitely all of the rides, especially the
User reported ahead.
the motion sensor one, or the what is it? The simulators are way more intense than they are at Disney.
A Ferris simulator.
I had a lot more fun the second day than the first day.
I did too.
I'm happy to go
I guess because I got sick. I got sick on both the Mummy and the Minions ride.
Well, we were also, like I said, we were disoriented when we first went in, just because we didn't know where anything was.
Right, exactly. But okay, I'm not exactly sure why my camera stopped. But I guess just to wrap it up, I would go to Universal again, but like he said, now we are kind of armed with the knowledge of what we can and can't do. Definitely, I know I need to lose some weight.
I do too.
But we also now have the knowledge that, they will let Josie ride, and which, I definitely appreciate it. Staff were amazing. I really enjoyed it. I would actually prefer to do 7 days at Disney over the, sharing the days. I don't think I could build an entire trip around, like a 5-day trip around Universal.
No, absolutely.
I don't, because Volcano Bay, I really don't have much of a desire to do a water park. I can't see myself doing a whole vacation around that park. But I wouldn't mind doing, like a couple of days, but I'd rather spend more time at Disney.
What I would do, if anything, is I would break out a day while staying at Disney and go over to Universal. But the only problem with that is you wouldn't get the Express Pass.
Exactly, and that Express Pass is pretty much worth everything.
Yeah, because the crowds were pretty intense while we were there.
Mostly in Potterland,
Mostly in Potterland.
in other areas, except for, like you were saying, around the Mardi Gras parade, it was a lot more manageable. But
Yeah.
the Harry Potter crowds were just like, oh God.
But that Express Pass saved us so much time.
I completely agree. So I'm gonna wrap it up and just say, yeah, I'm glad we did it. It was, it turned out to be a lot of fun after some chicanery. But I can't say that I would go out of my way to do it again. If we do it, we would have to actually concentrate 2 days on it and do the hotel like you said. But I'm obviously definitely still a Disney girl. So,
Yeah.
all right. So that's going to wrap up this trip because we have a few hours to get home, and we're just gonna like listen to some music and chill out. So for Josie and Gooch, I am Cherry, and we are the Disney Beams, and we are still the Disney Beams.
Chicken nuggets.
And we, even though we do the wrestling thing too, so yeah, we're gonna sign off. We're gonna say love, peace, rock, and a little bit of pixie dust.
See ya.
See ya. We will see ya real soon.
Stay Aussie.